Hi, I'm Tom Portingale, Global Employer Brand Director for IHG Hotels and Resorts. I'm a huge fan of Rory Sutherland, the famous advertising guru and behavioral psychologist. And a few years ago, he coined this phenomenon called a psychological moonshot. Thinking, what on earth's that? In its simple form, it's the idea that the biggest improvements often come not from changing reality, but from changing the experience of reality. So it's the essence of behavioral science. It's those small tweaks that alter how people feel about something, which often can beat big, costly functional changes. So think about it like hotels. They didn't reinvent the alarm clock. They added a do not disturb hanger and eliminated an entire category of customer stress. Uber, they didn't shorten wait times. They just showed a little car moving on a map, which made wait intolerable. So the psychological moonshot, it changes the story, not the infrastructure. Now, when you think of the role of employer brand in improving candidate experience, most companies try to do this by doing something radical and expensive, a new ATS, a new CRM, more headcount, more automation, more emails, more touch points, more dashboards. The list goes on. But all good things, they are, but they miss the magic of that psychological moonshot. And like consumers, candidates don't judge the transaction process objectively. They judge on how the process felt. And feelings can be redesigned far more easily than workflows. To help give some tips on how you could maybe take the psychological moonshot effect and how you could apply that within your own employer brand, here's a couple of tips. How about reducing uncertainty and not time? We all know candidates dread to be ghosted. What about if we sent candidates a here's what's happening behind the scenes this week update, even if nothing's happened? It makes your brand feel organized, transparent, and crucially human. What about if we were able to introduce meaningful moments? Now, after all, people don't remember every part of the journey. They remember the peaks. So create those deliberate emotional high points, such as a simple personalized welcome video from the hiring team before interview. It costs nothing, but it could transform everything. And then finally, what about increasing perceived control? We all hate feeling acted upon, and candidates love feeling in control, rightfully so. So let candidates choose the interview slots, provide interview questions or themes in advance, because when people feel in control, they feel respected. And why psychological moonshots matter for employer brand is because, put simply, brands aren't built through posters or taglines or career site headlines. They're built through lived experiences. And that doesn't require jazzy tools, just imagination. And the best employer brands win by not making the process perfect, but by making the experience meaningful. Hope that helps.